Jealousy is cruel as the grave. And he was a man that lived on jealousy for 70 years. And he suffers from that desperately. And people call him old and querulous and whatever.
Some of the names you'd least expect. Anthony Quinn admitted on his deathbed, as he identified the 5 stars he really despised the most. Behind the legendary screen charm of this titan of cinema was an actor not afraid to brand the poisonous egos and backstabbing that dogged Hollywood. These explosive disclosures reveal the seedy side of the silver screen, where friendship concealed vicious rivalries. Get ready to learn the sour realities Anthony Quinn kept close to his heart till the end. Marlon Brando. Few Hollywood stars of the golden era have a rivalry as well documented as the one between Anthony Quinn and Marlon Brando. Both were great talents known for their serious dedication to the art of acting. However, their relationship was generally laced with tension and frustration towards each other. Their partnership provides a compelling peek at the dynamic world of mid-20th century Hollywood in which egos, talent, and intense rivalry often clashed. Anthony Quinn, who was born in 1915, was an accomplished and fiery actor who infused his roles with a fierce passion. His Mexican-Irish heritage provided him with a compelling presence that enabled him to portray a vast range of ethnic characters with authenticity. He was renowned for his powerful performances in movies like Viva Zapata in 1952, Il Strada 1954, and Zorba the Greek 1964, where his strong physique and emotional depth created his characters unforgettable. Quinn was famous for his careful approach to acting based on the emotional reality that lies beneath, which awarded him 2 Academy Awards for Best Supporting Actor. Marlon Brando, for his part, was widely acclaimed as the forerunner of method acting in American film for his classic performances in A Streetcar Named Desire, 1951, On the Waterfront, 1954, and The Godfather, 1972. Brando changed the art of acting through his psychological depth and naturalistic approach. Brando's chiseled presence and erratic behavior on and off set added to his mythical status. Brando's occasionally mercurial personality and non-traditional preparation rituals made him both compelling and difficult to work with. Although they shared a commitment to method acting, Quinn and Brando's working styles and personalities tended to conflict. Accounts by those who observe their interactions are those of 2 strong personalities, each intensely guarding his own vision for the work. Quinn allegedly found Brando's behavior on set unpredictable and sometimes frustrating. Brando was infamous for ad-libbing lines, rewriting scenes, and insisting on massive control of the production process, behaviors that could interrupt the momentum of production and try the patience of co-stars. One story of a peer's set illustrates how Quinn, who was respected for his seriousness and professionalism, was unnerved by Brando's preference to arrive late, improvise dialogue, and otherwise act as if the rules did not apply to him. Quinn preferred discipline and dedication, and resented Brando's stunts as a disrespect to the art and to other performers. Brando saw his own idiosyncrasies as essential to bring raw, emotional truth to his roles, usually brushing aside criticism as a result of others not being able to grasp his brilliance. Their competition was not solely professional, but at times spilled over into the general public. Hollywood columnists and interviews would every now and then mention their contentious relationship, fueling rumors of bad blood between the 2 actors. There were, however, times when there was mutual respect. Both men acknowledged the other's phenomenal talent and contribution to the craft of acting, if not always respecting one another on a personal level. Their competitive drive was characteristic of Hollywood's golden era, an era defined by intense wars over honor, top billing, and reviews. Both men sought to establish the era's changing standards of performance and were regularly matched by critics and audience members alike. This juxtaposition, flattering as it was in some ways, further escalated their rivalry. Brando's innovative popularity sometimes overshadowed Quinn's success in the popular conscience, while Quinn's strong and all-around career served to remind people that he was no mere second best. Off camera, the tension between Quinn and Brando sometimes extended to production dynamics. directors and producers were caught in the middle, attempting to tap the creative power of both men without the personal differences interfering with filming. On several occasions, crew members recalled heated exchanges or cold silences exchanged between the two during breaks or rehearsals. Despite their differences, both actors shared a profound commitment to transforming the American film landscape. Quinn's commanding performances brought complex characters to life with dignity and emotional weight, while Brando's revolutionary approach reshaped acting itself, influencing generations of performers to come. Their common enthusiasm for authentic acting produced a paradox. It brought them into the same artistic circle, yet also ensured that conflicts were almost inevitable with their strong personalities and varying visions of method acting. John Wayne, Hollywood's most captivating tale of professional rivalry, rooted in cutting contrasts in personality, politics, and aesthetic vision, is the long-standing feud between Anthony Quinn and John Wayne. Both men were giants of American film, but their inherent differences forged a taut relationship that played itself out both on and off screen. Their competition was not just about vying for roles or stardom, but also deeper ideological fault lines during a politically charged time in Hollywood. John Wayne, the Duke as he's commonly known affectionately, was the archetype of rugged individualism and conservatism, achieving stardom in the 1930s and cementing his iconic status through classic westerns such as Stagecoach 1939, The Searchers 1956, and True Grit 1969. Wayne became synonymous with conservative ideals of patriotism, honor, and masculinity. Off-screen, his persona was equally hardline conservative. A vocal ally of right-wing politics, he was a vocal critic of communism and the very embodiment of the American hero ideal that spoke so deeply to America's mainstream culture. Anthony Quinn, on the other hand, was a man of great passion and volcanic intensity. Born of Mexican and Irish descent, Quinn's own career reflected a wide range of complicated characters ranging from revolutionaries to tortured artists. He was not just celebrated for his ability as an actor, but for his vocal political opinions and larger-than-life personality as well. Quinn frequently championed progressive causes and had no hesitation about bucking Hollywood's establishment, making him something of a rebel in a studio system that celebrated conformity often. Their ideological and political differences naturally crept into their professional working relationship. According to reports, Wayne had trouble tolerating Quinn's passionate personality. Where Quinn represented the rebellious type, Wayne represented the champion of tradition and authority. There was no likelihood of cooperation where such contrasts were present. Industry people remembered countless incidents of tension between the two, both on location and during social events at Hollywood's high society circles. Perhaps the most thoroughly documented source of tension between the two was their differing screen conceptions of masculinity and heroism. Wayne's heroes tended to be principled, stoic men who defended law and order, usually in a simple, unambiguous moral world. Quinn, on the other hand, more often played characters struggling with inner conflict and complexity, introducing emotional depth and moral complexity to his roles. Their performances and selection were often symptomatic of this ideological divide, generating competition in who was more representative of the real American spirit. Histories from members of the crew and contemporaries detail blazing rows on set, when they had scenes together or worked on the same projects, although they hardly ever appeared together in leading productions. When their careers did intersect, tension underlay every encounter. At times, disagreements are said to have degenerated into public arguments, hampering the working conditions. Such conflicts were sometimes over artistic differences, sometimes due to personal dislikes or political differences. Both men were prominent on the social scene in Hollywood, and their conflicting visions often set them apart in public and private interaction. Sources indicate that Wayne, defensive of his conservative values and Hollywood reputation, saw Quinn's assertiveness as provocative, if not threatening. Quinn, in turn, saw Wayne as symbolizing a hardline old-guard Hollywood resistant to change and diversity. Bitter as this antagonism was, There was a mutual professional respect between the two. They each knew the other's incredible contributions to the film industry and were aware of the expectations of stardom within a competitive environment. But this respect was sometimes buried beneath multiple layers of competition and frequent personal hostility that reflected the wider cultural hostilities of the day. Their competition also foregrounded mid-century America's changing cultural and political environment. The post-World War II period was characterized by heated arguments over identity, ideology, and Hollywood's role in forming opinion. Wayne's conservatism resonated with the feelings of most Americans who were anti-communist and feared social change, whereas Quinn's passion was closer to progressive causes and a more open-ended vision of American identity. Thus, their competition became a microcosm for broader social tensions. Curiously, some industry onlookers hypothesized that tensions between Quinn and Wayne were partly generated by the studio's marketing strategies. Hollywood during those times tended to thrive on creating